I do like when I can get an intro in the beginning. Then I don't have to go and, like, as I'm listening to it, like, oh, there's something. Because I like to just go through. What the hell?
Fuck you, Amazon.
This week we're drinking pumpkin and Halloween beers. This is episode 122 of the Melting Hour.
What's the hats on the house? Got yeast that's peace. This the Molten Hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted when you're getting wasted. The Molten Hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your
Welcome to the Malting Hour. I am one of... I was going to do like a contract thing. I'm not going to do it. I just thought of it though. Welcome to the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with...
Dick Butkus.
Oh, man. Why do you got to do that?
Oh, I should have said Dick Butkus.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
We are, we're recording this on the
It's
day
me,
today,
Brandon.
actually.
I'm not really Dick Butkus.
No, he passed away today. And a Bears legend, an NFL legend. We're recording our pumpkin beer episode a little bit early. And we have the Bears game on and hoping for a win.
I mean, top of the second, and we're up
Top
17.
of the second. This isn't baseball, but yeah.
Top of the second. The Bears.
Top of the second, the Bears are up 17-0. The Commanders still look like garbage.
What are we drinking, Tony? Anything?
Yeah, this is our pumpkin beer episode. This is our pumpkin beer episode. I feel like it's going to start transitioning more into just like a Halloween beer, a Halloween themed beer episode, because we're going to end up drinking all of the pumpkin beers in the next 2 years, probably.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's going to be none left unless somebody comes out with something new.
Well, and it's funny because the 4 beers that I got for us today, we have not tried. I'm pretty sure. I don't know about this Four Hands one. I'm pretty sure we haven't had this.
I don't think I have. It does not look
No. But the one
familiar.
The one I'm most excited about is, apparently this has been out for a while. I don't know how we missed this. It is Sketchbook Brewing Company's Smokey Jack, a smoked pumpkin saison. I'm actually going to pass this to you real quick.
I hate smoked beers.
That is a lie. I'm going to pass it to you so you can open it up, so that I was trying to be very on top of things and got descriptions before we open up beers. So here we go. Smokey Jack from Sketchbook Brewing. Pumpkin beers can be spooky. This one is made to enlighten the ingredients that go with a fall beverage and make you smile. Pumpkin smoked in pecan wood and seasoned with a dash of pumpkin pie spices. This medium-body farmhouse ale is finished with wildflower honey and dark maple syrup for even more complexity. Sketchbook out there in Evanston and Skokie. They just recently won the bronze medal for their... It's a Polish smoked wheat beer. Grodzicki? I think that's how you pronounce it. I've had it before, and you have one here now, thanks to Ray.
Ooh.
I'm going in there too. Yeah, I did the same thing that you did, that Ray taught us. Put your hand over the glass, give it a swirl, and...
We're dumb.
Well, right away, I'm getting, like, pumpkin spice.
I'm getting pumpkin, and then I'm getting a little, like, smoky,
boy.
peatiness
Oh,
or
boy.
something. I haven't taken a sip yet, but...
I just did. There's a nice smoke. Yeah.
Coming
nice
up
smoke
blazing. Pew, 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 pew.
There it is, man. That's like pumpkin beer in front of a campfire.
And then I'm getting like a metallic...
I got that too, and I shook it off. I swirled it around again.
Okay.
And I'm more sensitive to that with beers, and I'm surprised to hear you say that. And I mainly get that from roasted malts. And there's not, I don't believe there's any or many roasted. I normally get it from stouts.
Still there a little bit.
Still getting it?
A little bit. Not too bad. Not as bad as the first sip, but that is off-putting to me.
Yeah. There is a little bit still in the back. It's a saison, which, is interesting to me because I don't get any saison from this beer. Now, everybody knows Clark and I specifically are masters at picking out saisons when they're pale ales, or vice versa. I don't remember the mystery beer, what we did, what we messed up. But it comes across as a little bit of just a smoky pumpkin ale.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's got like a good lager backbone. And the pumpkin flavor is nice. Actually, I really do like it. And then that subtle like smokiness that comes through, just that like
Swish it around in your mouth. Like take a sip. Like don't take a huge sip, but like swish it around in your mouth a little bit. Not like that. Just like I do that normally too. But like swish it around and then swallow. And I don't have that metallic taste now. You still have it?
A little bit.
Interesting. There must be a malt specifically in the... I had to pause. Oh, he shook his whole head on that one. Wow, he's getting crazy for Halloween.
My head hurts.
I do get...
See, not yet. I didn't get it that time. You got to shake your head.
Insane. Yeah. That's insane. I'm not going to do that. I do get that from certain roasted malts, and I've talked about that before with like certain stouts where there's like this metallic-y taste that eventually goes away, whether I shake it off in the beer, like swirl it around the cup, or Taylor Swift, or the more I drink it, it kind of goes away. One of the beers, and this is my palate, so it's not a knock on the beer. I get it from Fat Pug from Maplewood.
Okay.
And I bring that up because I just recently had their S'mores Fat Pug, which is very good. An imperial version of Fat Pug that is supposed to be modeled after s'mores. And the first sip that I had, me forgetting about the kind of metallic taste that I get from Fat Pug, it was off-putting. So I was like, oh shit, that's right. It's one of the like stouts that I get that from. Swirled it around a little bit, let it warm up a little bit, and then it was gone. The metallic taste only for me with certain beers that have those roasted malts, it comes like in the beginning, and then as I keep drinking it, it goes away.
You haven't identified what malt that probably is?
I believe it may have been talked about on this podcast. Maybe we should talk to Matthew about that, because I'm sure, or Ray, or like anybody or any other brewer, or somebody who's like actively working in a brewery, there is definitely I just remember having the conversation with somebody. There's a specific malt or the way or how dark something's roasted that it gives off. It can give off like a metallic taste to some palates, and my palate is very sensitive to that. And it sucks because I love stouts. So when I come across that, it's like, man, kind of a bummer for me because I have to like work on it to like make the beer palatable for myself. And again, it's not the brewer's fault. It's not the beer's fault. It is just my mouth and my palate being very sensitive to that. I see you're trying to find this.
Yeah, so something I came across on a homebrew website. It says it's most likely a pH thing. Dark malts inherently reduce pH. Brewers will often use baking soda or high carbonate spring water, etc., to balance out the pH effect. In a finished beer, low pH can end up tasting metallic to some, or to me, sometimes tends to taste like canned olives.
Whoa, gross.
So I'm wondering does that mean that the brewers aren't making up for the low pH?
No, I think that they are making up for the like they're adjusting and adding those things to it is what's giving off
like baking soda.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Whatever they're using, whatever they're doing, could be the reason. I doubt they're just using like straight up baking soda. There could be other chemical compounds that they're using.
Arm & Hammer.
There you go. We got a whole supply of Arm & Hammer. We just dump it into the mash. It's good to go. Then we lower the pH. Once we get out of mash, we'll go to boil. It's good. Yeah, again, it's just something that I'm sensitive to. But it's interesting to hear you say that because I don't think we've had many beers on here. Because I tried not to say that I taste the metallic. And maybe I should say that only because there's other people out there who are sensitive to that. So when you're drinking the beer,
So the other thing I'm reading here, it says it's a...
Excuse me, I just burped very loud into the microphone.
It's a malt oxidation thing. So some roasted malts oxidize quicker.
That makes sense. So yeah, so I
could be several different things.
But why we're getting it in here, I don't know. Saison.
Yeah, my only thought could be that they used some variation of a
caramel
roasted
malt, something that was
maybe
roasted
to get the color.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a caramel malt in here of some sort. Overall, though, as we've been drinking it and talking, and very much staying on this metallic flavor, as I keep drinking this, I'm beginning to enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah, I'm not. Maybe because it's warming up. I don't know. I'm not getting the metallic as much.
So that's the thing. So like with certain beers, like I said, like certain stouts, like as I drink them and I keep going on with them as the night goes on, like even if it's like within an hour, that taste goes away because like you keep drinking, and so like my palate keeps picking up everything else and just kind of ignores the metallic taste.
If I drink a beer for an hour, everything starts to go away.
Sometimes I like really take my time, but I don't really get the saison.
No, I don't get that at all.
Because I was gonna say, oh, maybe there's like this little like fruity. Not saisons aren't tart, but like there is like a fruity dryness that comes with saisons. In my opinion, as being a beer master, but this really just comes off as a smoked pumpkin ale, which I'm not upset about at all.
No.
And I'm not going to judge this beer on the fact that it is supposed to be a smoked pumpkin saison. I'm going to judge it on it being a pumpkin beer.
Yeah, my thought was judging it for what it tastes like, not what it's supposed to be. So that's essentially what you said. Because if I'm going off like it being a saison, I'd rate it really low.
Yeah, because we're not getting saison, and it'd be pretty crazy if this was like, here's a saison. Also, we added these spices to it.
Yeah.
The smokiness to me is perfect. It's not, which I mean, the Grzycki that they did, the smoked Polish wheat beer that they did, won a bronze. So they've got the smoked malt ratio down very well, obviously.
Yeah.
I like the smokiness in here. There's a nice sweetness. There's the pumpkin spice in there. It's got a nice body to it, too. It's not super light. There's like a medium body to it.
I feel like if it would have been any smokier, the pumpkin spice would have got drowned out.
Yeah, and if it didn't get
or just made
out,
it unpleasant,
it would have been muddled. Yeah, it just would have been like not good. So I really like that about this beer. I have to burp again, and it's just trying to come out. Cool. We don't normally burp on mic like that, but we did it. I feel better. Brandon, how many flaming pumpkins are you giving this?
I'm gonna go 3.6.
Interesting. Okay, cool. I like that. I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna go 3.9.
Okay.
Just because I've never had a smoked pumpkin beer, and again, I'm not getting the whole saison profile from this beer, but it's still a tasty pumpkin beer, and the smokiness is really nice. And I've never had a smoky pumpkin beer, so
yeah. But what knocked it down for me was that metallic taste. That's what I took it down a couple 2-3 because of that. But I mean, it's solid beer. If I hadn't noticed the metallic up front, I probably would have been right there with you, a little bit higher. So.
Sure. Yeah, and then like I said, I try to get past the metallic flavor. I'm sure I've talked about it on the podcast before. There are some beers where it's like, man, it's just there. It's just there for me, and I can't get past it. This happened to be one of the beers where I didn't have it anymore, and it was great. So, very tasty. We've got 3 more options here. Brandon, I have one in mind, but what do you want to do? I'm holding up 3 beers for him to look at.
Do Energy City?
That's what I was going to go with. Way to go, man. Ugh. All right, I'm going to crack this one open.
I feel like that one, if we saved that to last, might get lost.
Absolutely. I think
to the point I want to rinse my glass.
Ooh, good idea.
Smokiness in there.
I should have done that, but I didn't. Oh, my God. So I'm pouring this into my glass. Holy shit. So pouring into my glass, it really looks like a hazy IPA. But I just got a whiff off of the glass, and this smells like a pumpkin. Like, it smells like a pumpkin pie crust and all. This is absolutely insane. I need you to pour that right now, Brandon, and smell that. It looks like a thick, hazy IPA.
It looks like orange juice.
Dude, smell that. Smell that right now.
You know what? It's funny. So I get the pumpkin. I get weird. But the first thing I really noticed was butter. It was buttery.
Yeah,
buttery. Like
that's what I mean, like a crust,
yep.
but not buttery like Oh shit! Not buttery like an off a flavor like diacetyl.
Yeah, no.
No. Did you
It
take a
was
sip
it was
yet?
like no, but it was like a bakery, like fresh baked
This is insane.
like pies coming off, and first thing you smell is like the doughs.
Oh, Aggie made it.
Girl, go away.
By the way, the Bears are playing great. They look good right now. Brandon, take a sip of that beer and tell me what you think.
That's fucking good.
Dude, that is pumpkin pie. I know it's a cobbler, but that is like that. This is blowing my mind of how it's like someone made a tincture or just took cobbler cake pie and soaked it in liquid. It's a Berliner Weiss too, by the way.
This reminds me of, not that I've ever done this, but like your grandpa with no teeth wants some pumpkin pie. You got to blend down the.
I'm glad you've never done it before.
I mean, I've always had my teeth, but like literally, it's like liquefied pumpkin.
This is from Energy City out in Batavia, Illinois. It is a sour fruited Berliner Weiss. It is a Berliner style Weiss beer with pumpkin and spices added after fermentation. So it doesn't give us a whole lot because this is the most, when you talk about pastry stouts and like just pastry beers in general, like this literally is like someone put pumpkin pies. We've done crazy beers before with cereal. The cinnamon roll stout where we put cinnamon rolls in there. How does it taste like a buttery crust? Like, not a buttery. I don't want to say buttery because that is an off-putting descriptor for a beer that.
Okay. I was reading the bottom. I was like, oh, when was this canned? And then I saw a date that says like 3/14/20, looked like 23, and I was like, what? But it says it's BB, so Best Buy. I'm assuming.
Is it 24?
I think it's either 24 or 25. The last number is like muddled, but actually it looks closer to a 5.
Wow. Dude, this is.
I'd be interested to see how this ages.
I didn't know what to expect going into this beer. This was kind of the like curveball beer for me because you and I had both talked about, we saw this when we were doing the fall beer episode. And we both saw this beer. We talked about like, oh, I was going to get this. Oh, yeah, I was going to get this too, but we're going to wait for the pumpkin beer episode. So this was the first beer that I was gunning for. I'm
glad you got it.
Dude, like, I've just brought it to my nose right now. It just smells like pie crust. Yep. It smells like a fucking bakery. This is insane. I can't believe it. And a Berliner Weiss, which is an interesting style for this. And Berliner Weiss is light and there's a tartness to it, and it works. Like a cobbler, like peach cobbler, strawberry cobbler, there's a tartness to it from the fruit. Pumpkin's not necessarily tart, but dude, I've never been blown away by a pumpkin beer as much as I am blown away by this beer right now.
It's just so well done. And
it's fucking liquid dessert.
Yeah. What's the ABV on this?
I don't know. You have the can. Oh, dude, the smell. It's like pumpkin cookies. Like the aroma is like there's cookies. There's like something baking, and then there's
6.5.
Oh my god, which is actually high for a Berliner Weiss.
No, I would love an imperial version of this.
They have a pumpkin cheesecake version of this.
What?
Yeah.
I love cheesecake.
I do too, dude.
Pumpkin cheesecake.
Yeah, dude, I do too. I'm shocked.
Go get that beer right now.
Dude, I gotta be honest, man. I am absolutely shocked by this beer.
This is Malteez level for me.
Absolutely. This is, when people talk about like how beers have changed and like pastry stouts and there's like shit in beers and like just make a beer. This, to get this flavor, to get this aroma, to get this specific, a Berliner Weiss is not easy to make either. But to craft this,
yeah,
what I'm getting from the aroma, what I'm getting from the flavor, it is amazing. This is.
Look how thick it is. Like just leaving the residue. On
it looks like when you're like pulling off samples from homebrew. Mm-hmm. It's not an appealing beer.
No, look at the floaties.
Yeah.
You can see the spice. You
Visually,
can see the spice in there.
Visually, it is not an appealing beer.
Is that
Sorry, Energy City.
Is that the MO with Energy City though? Because like, are they like the thicker beers? Like not like pastry style stuff, but they just
No, they've got like random stuff. Like there's, dude. After having this, I can't wait to like branch out and try some of the other ones. I saw like a chocolate chip mint thing.
I want to try the pumpkin cheesecake thing. Like, that's amazing.
I have not been blown away by a beer on this on this show in a long time.
Yeah.
This is it. Like, it is. I would offer samples or every like, especially like around the holidays or a Halloween party or whatever. I want a 4-pack of this, and I'm cracking it, like cracking cans open and pouring samples for everybody to be like, smell that, drink that, and tell me that's not like the coolest, like most interesting pumpkin pie beverage you've ever had in your life.
I like
and it's a cobbler.
I like this so much that like literally in my head I'm thinking, do I have room in my suitcase to bring some for the fam? Like,
if you don't, I'm telling you right now. Oh man, I still didn't bring your birthday gift. What the fuck? Okay, so you have a birthday gift when you get back. By the way, it is a bottle of bourbon. I won't tell you what it is, but dude, I think I might go and get a 4-pack of this. I'll leave 2 here and keep 2 at home. Like,
dude, you think Laura would like this? Does she like pumpkin
maybe
pie?
No, she's not big into pumpkin spice. Is Becca?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, I think anybody. I just feel like anybody who likes baked things. I actually think like people who might not like pumpkin spiced beers, but like pastries that maybe have like pumpkin in it and like don't mind pumpkin stuff. This is that beer, that beverage for you. Yeah, this is insane.
Because as I keep drinking it, we talk about you're getting that pie crust, but what I'm getting more now is less of a pie crust, but more of like a cobbler topping that goes on things. Like it tastes more like that. I'm getting like notes of brown sugar and like some like almost like roasted in the oven type. It's just so fucking interesting and it's so intense, but in the best way possible. Also, I think this is a perfect way to drink this. Like, this is a good beer. I don't know if I could do an entire 16-ounce can.
Yeah, I agree. It's a sharing beer, for sure. I could probably do...
I could drink it slowly if I need to.
Yeah. And as it warmed up, I'd probably be like, okay. I'm
plowing through this.
Yeah,
so.
I plowed through it because I didn't want it to warm up anymore because I feel like I'm going to get more of the pastry aspect of it and we still have 2 more to go. Brandon, how many cobblers are you giving this?
Fuck, dude. For what it is, man, I gotta go 5.
100%. I am with you 100%. This might be the most accurate depiction of a pastry beer.
And it's so fucking stupid. It literally, like the name of it is
I agree.
Pumpkin Cobbler. And they fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
We kept talking about pie crust, but like pie crust, cobbler, baking,
but that
like
that
the
butteriness,
dough.
that butteriness that I smelt in the beginning, that literally smelled like a buttery pie crust.
And it's not an off-putting aroma. It's not like there's like diacetyl.
No.
This is...
No, it smelled like buttery baked goods,
dude,
like in the most
I'm
pleasant way.
blown away.
Because when I think diacetyl, I think like if you were just straight up drinking like
it's
popcorn
like,
butter.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Like the buttered popcorn stuff.
Which is
good.
Just not in a beer.
It's not a beer. I am just absolutely blown away by this. It's fantastic. It's one of might be the best pumpkin beer I've ever had.
If I could be a fly on a wall on a brew day, I would love to see how they do this.
Energy City, after we've tagged you in this, of course, as some breweries do, they listen to the episode. If you're listening to this, we would love to come and talk to you because this is blowing our minds right now. This is hands down one of the best pumpkin beers I've ever had. This tops. I feel, you know what, man? I have to get it out of my mind because we have 2 more to go. I'm almost speechless.
Yeah.
I'm almost speechless.
So, how many
5
cobblers?
Oh, yeah,
we did.
Yeah, sorry, that's 5. I'm 5 on that. All right. We have to collect ourselves. We have to drink some water. maybe like rinse our palates because it's going to be hard to top this. But I'm going to get it out of my mind because we have two very different beers left to go for the rest of this episode.
Indeed.
We'll be right back.
Why don't more infant formula companies use organic, grass-fed whole milk instead of skim? Why don't more infant formula companies use the latest breast milk science? Why don't more infant formula companies run their own clinical trials? Why don't more infant formula companies use more of the proteins found in breast milk? Why don't more infant formula companies have their own factories instead of outsourcing their manufacturing? We wondered the same thing. So we made ByHeart, an infant formula company on a mission to get a lot closer to the most superfood on the planet, breast milk. Our patented protein blend has more of the important and most abundant proteins actually found in breast milk. We're the first and only U.S.-made formula to use organic, grass-fed whole milk, not skim. We even conducted the largest clinical trial by a new infant formula company in a quarter century, with clinically proven benefits like easier digestion, less spit up, and softer poops versus a leading infant formula. And we make our own formula in the USA and our very own factories in Iowa, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
And we're back. Ooh, that was a spooky return. I'm terrified. We are back. Welcome, everybody.
Wait till you see the clipping.
Oh, no. The most terrifying thing that I have to adjust. Welcome, everybody, back to our pumpkin beer Halloween episode. It's about a week early, but that's okay. Thank you for joining us. I am still collecting my thoughts over that Energy City pumpkin cobbler. I have to get it out of my head because we have 2 more that we're going to sample. And Brandon, I'm going to pass this to you. There we go.
Thank you, sir.
So this is one of my favorite styles of pumpkin beer. I love the idea of pumpkin beers when they're stouts. So that's what this is. It is
Il Repute?
Yeah, Il Repute, thank you, from Four Hands Brewing Company. It is a pumpkin/yam beer. Familiar pumpkin pie aromas of cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger shine from this decidedly non-traditional twist on a pumpkin ale that's built upon complex layer of caramel and chocolate to create a seasonal imperial stout that's both trick and treat. Pairs with pumpkin brownies, giant bowls of chocolate, All Hallows Eve, baby. We got cats doing shit over there, and the bears are kicking ass. By the way, this is 2 weeks after the Bears are kicking ass on Thursday night. Hopefully they don't blow the lead. Right away, just so you know, we're getting chocolate on the
100%.
aroma.
100%. That chocolate is coming through. Ooh, dark chocolate. Oh, pairs with dark chocolate. So my initial thoughts on this is the pumpkin is very subtle.
Absolutely.
But not in a way that I would be like, oh, this isn't a pumpkin beer. But it's like the chocolate is kind of the chocolate and malt backbone.
Like the
are
stout
carrying
is
this.
the stout is the star of this.
Yeah. I feel like they could up the pumpkin.
Yeah, I mean,
or add some pumpkin spice. I don't know.
sure. If you want more pumpkin, absolutely. I would still call this a pumpkin beer.
No. So would I. I'm just saying, like, personal preference, I think they can go a little higher.
I think it's a really good stout overall.
Agreed.
And the subtle pumpkin to it, I actually really like. And maybe it's because we're coming off that Energy City pumpkin cobbler that was like straight up like baked pumpkin goodness. Yeah. This is, if I can compare it to anything, it's like a heftier bodied and alcohol, I think, Warlock. What's the ABV on this? Do you have that on the can?
8.5.
I think Warlock's around there. Warlock might be 9. So it's around there. Warlock is a little bit lighter. That's Southern Tier's pumpkin stout. This is like, I feel like it's heftier in body than Warlock. Maybe a little bit more approachable. And I don't know. I really like this.
Yeah, I like the body on it. I like the cream. There's a creaminess to it. And by all means, I'm not saying that I don't like it the way it is, but I would love to see like if it was dialed up a little bit more.
Yeah,
I think
that's personal preference. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see that.
But what this made me think of was if we ever did Into the Void, a pumpkin version of that.
There you go.
But then I thought about it. I'm like, so we're past, we're going to be past, Halloween. And then it just popped in my head. I was like, what if we did a Christmas cookie Into the Void?
I'd love to do that. It'd be fantastic.
Like, find some way to get, like, sugar cookie. Yeah,
Aggie agrees. We'll talk to the people at Energy City who have mastered the art of putting, like, baked goods into a damn beer without it just being, like, a giant, like, sweet sugar bomb that's just thick and, like, giving me diabetes. This beer, that would be fantastic. A sugar cookie stout would be really good. I feel like some of the sugar cookie stouts that we've had have just been like, not on the podcast, thin-bodied and not that great. This has a nice body. You said creamy. There's a smoothness to it. The more I'm drinking it, the more the cinnamon and like nutmeg is kind of like an allspice maybe like lingering in the back of my mouth. But that chocolate aroma is really good. Mm-hmm. It's really nice. Like I would like to have this without the adjuncts, like just the stout as is.
I'm sure they probably have that.
I just think this is another really good pumpkin beer. This is fantastic. This might be one that I go and seek out more often when it's released.
Yeah, and it's not overly sweet. It's the perfect
it's like a medium light body too.
Yeah, it's the perfect consistency, and like this, it being an 8.5% beer. Just based on like how thick it kind of is, like I would have assumed almost that would be like 9.5.
Sure, but an imperial, like even a higher, not imperial, but like a higher ABV version of this would be remarkable. I would love a barrel aged version of this beer. It's really impressive. I didn't know what to expect because never had it before. Because there have been other pumpkin stouts that I have tried. I was expecting like a super light, thin body to this, and I'm glad that's not what we have here. This is tasty, man.
Yeah, as soon as I poured it, I was like, yeah, this is going to have some heft. And it does, pleasantly. And I mean, again, going back to what I said, like, bumping up the spice or the pumpkin, that's, just for me.
Sure.
I would be interested to see how that plays, because I'm getting a lot more chocolate, a lot more malt. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I do enjoy the beer, like, quite immensely, but... yeah, I mean...
As I'm drinking it, I get more of the pumpkin spice and all the stuff that...
When it's warming up, that's starting to become more predominant. So
yeah. I'm also happy that we didn't run into what we were talking about before, was that metallic taste, because that was the other thing I was worried about coming into the stout, was like, oh no, am I going to have the metallic taste? But
nobody wants that.
No, it's not there, and that is fantastic. So, Brandon, how many... chocolate covered pumpkin things.
How many chocolate covered or how many pumpkin Reese's Pieces or Reese's peanut butter cups?
But there's no peanut butter in this.
I know. Whatever.
We're gonna judge off that anyway.
Chocolate covered pumpkins.
Yeah, that's not a thing either.
It is now.
How many chocolate-covered pumpkin spice things would you give this?
I'm gonna go 4
Okay.
for what it is. Like I said, if it was bumped up a little bit more, I think I'd go a little higher. But for what it is, I really enjoy it, and that's a solid 4 for me.
I'm going to go 4 on this.
Okay.
Because I think it's a nice, subtle approach to doing a pumpkin beer and focusing on the stout. Like, if you're a stout drinker who likes pumpkin spice beers, but you're not looking to be, like, smashed in the face with pumpkin spice, then, you know, this is definitely the beer for you.
Yeah.
Even if you're just a stout drinker, this might be the beer that you want to have because the pumpkin spice is very low. There's a nice cinnamon, nutmeg, baked goodness to this. It's very good. I like it.
Agreed.
Brandon, we've got one more beer left. And technically, it's not a beer. I'm going to give this to you because I'm going to have you pour that. You still have beer in there. Sorry about that. Because I'm going to pull my phone back out here to talk about this. When I saw this, when I went to, by the way, again, going to Beer on the Wall for these beers, I saw this one and I was super excited because I had the Golden Ale. What was the brewery? The Golden Ale that had the apple cider donut. It's not from these guys. This is Misbehaving Meads Cidery in Valparaiso, Indiana. It is a spiced cider featuring the flavors of fall, which there's a colon there, sorry. Caramel, brown sugar, cinnamon, cardamom, vanilla, and of course, apples. Crisp as an autumn night with a long but clean finish. And the descriptors here on Untapped are apple, caramel, sweet, honey, and bubbly. I'm pretty excited about this. You know, I figured instead of just going full pumpkin, we can still sneak in, you know, some stuff we want to have around Halloween. Some fall type beers. Ooh, buddy. Did you take a whiff of that?
I did.
What are you getting on there?
Cidery.
Really? I'm getting, like, more of a baked apple thing. Like, caramel apple, baked apple thing that has caramel with it. Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing you're doing.
I didn't do that before.
Oh, man. I'm getting, like,
okay.
Caramel.
Oh, yeah. I'm
getting, like, strong caramel aromas on that reminds me of something. I actually just made apple fritters the other day for my first time with puff pastries.
Ooh. With
brown sugar. But didn't use any caramel. But, you know, caramelize the brown sugar, you get that smell. This is what I'm getting from this.
It's reminiscent of like a caramel apple pie.
Sure.
Or if you want to go back down that cobbler route, kind of teetering on that. Because I'm getting, like you said, not so much a caramel like aroma, but it's more of like a browned brown sugar aroma.
I can see you
with the apple and stuff.
Yeah, I can see when you first said, like, you know, full cider. There is... I feel like my nose is on point tonight, which is a rare thing for the show. I do get the apple, but, like, there's, like, this caramel and then, like, some flaky baked something in there as well. And that, again, it's not diacetyl. It's a nice, like...
It's nowhere near as buttery as the Energy City was.
No. But this is caramel apple on a dry. It's like if you took apple cider and dumbed down the sweetness of it. Okay, I'm not talking about like a hard cider. I'm talking about like real, like a jug of apple cider, which I do have at home, which is super sweet. And I pour like a quarter of a cup every now and then, and drink some of it, even sometimes in the morning, which is a great way to start the day. Just a little bit of apple cider before you brush your teeth.
You brush your teeth.
Just brush your teeth with apple cider. It is a not super sweet, but it's not dry. It's like right in the middle. I mean, it leans more towards sweetness, but it's not like super sweet. And then there's like caramel, and then apple, and then I don't know, man. It's hard. It's like if an apple turned over into a beer. Like I don't know. It's hard to. I get that in the aroma, but in the taste, it's like a caramel apple. It's like if you get a caramel apple from an actual like place you're picking apples from, because you get like Affy apples or whatever, like caramel covered apples that are sitting on the shelves forever. And
Yeah.
that's fine. But if you go to an actual apple orchard and you're buying the ones that they dip in caramel, that's what this reminds me of.
What I like about this is it's a cider. It's not like a lager that's going for apple and caramel or whatever. It's
not like the Golden Ale that I had, which the Golden Ale was fantastic.
Or like the Phase 3.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. And if we want to get ballsy, we could test it with a 3-year-old one that we got back.
Absolutely not. As I'm drinking this more, like it is like an apple juice.
Yeah.
Like it's like a juicy apple that has caramel in there. Mm-hmm. This is really good.
Yeah.
How did we put together? Granted, it was me, but how did I feel like the everything was in line, and these were I was in and out. I did grab some beers for myself for tomorrow.
You went to In-N-Out?
For the weekend. I did go to In-N-Out and get the animal.
Got that in Chicago now?
Yeah, you didn't know about that? No, I flew to California. Did that. No, I was in and out of Beer on the Wall very quickly because there was 3. I was doing screenshots, but there was a couple of ones I knew that I wanted to get, and this was one of them. Sketchbook was one of them, and then the Energy City was the other one. Those are the 3 that I was looking for, and the Four Hands was the one I decided on out of the other things I was gonna fill it in with. But this might be one of the best Halloween quote unquote pumpkin beer. Sorry, everybody else that has ever been on a pumpkin beer episode. This is just how it panned out. These were all solid selections. And again, I'm not patting myself in the back because they were just kind of. But they were random things that I saw that I thought, oh, this sounds good. This sounds good. And we've done this before. We've grabbed beers. Yeah, this is pretty good. It's good for what it is. And even the Sketchbook one might be the lowest for us. It's still a really good beer.
Yeah, I'm with you. So if you're gonna rate this, how many caramel apples would you give this one?
4.7.
Ooh.
And it's a cider. I mean, it is a cider. I'm not a huge fan of ciders, but especially around this time, and for what this is like a caramel apple cider, it reminds you of being at an apple orchard, picking apples, maybe buying those fresh dipped caramel apples that are the apples are from the orchard, or you're buying those donuts or all the other bullshit that you can get at those places when you're apple picking. This encompasses that feeling for me.
Yeah.
When I say bullshit, I mean all the canned stuff and bottled stuff that you
I
don't need to buy. Although at Edward's Apple
I always buy it.
At Edward's Apple Orchard, we bought caramel corn. That is probably the best caramel corn I've ever had.
Ooh.
It's the nice roasty, rich, deep, not burnt, but roasted caramel into a popcorn. That's the best. But yeah, what would you? How many caramel apples are you gonna give this one?
I'm just thinking about caramel corn right now. I would say I'd give it 2.
Oh my god! What?
3.
Where are we going
5. 4.
Oh, where's he going? He's rolling the dice.
5,
We're going back and
6,
forth.
7.
He's losing his mind.
I'm with you on that. I'm between 4.6, 4.7.5.
Yeah. It's really good.
Or 4. Yeah,
I would say 4.7.
4 3/4.
Yeah.
But so fucking good. And I again, I don't seek out ciders all the time. I've made ciders in the past. I think I still have a half a gallon of one that I still need to
Heyo.
from last year. But I can appreciate a good cider.
Absolutely.
And I can also appreciate when you craft it well, when you're trying to do adjuncts and things like that. And this one was crafted very well.
Amazing.
There was thought into it. There was, some care into it. It came out, it's crystal clear.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, we didn't talk about the cans of it.
It's not hazy. There's no floaters in here. It's a clean beer. Perfect amount of carbonation.
Yeah.
And that caramel sweetness it's lingering on my lips in a way where I felt I kind of maybe maybe I did have a caramel apple. And I didn't even know
it's also a beer.
How drunk am I?
Much like the Energy City one, that was perfect. Splitting that, if you had the Energy City pumpkin cobbler and misbehaving caramel apple cider.
Now, if I was going to cuvee something, the Energy City in this one.
There's also a little bit in here, unfortunately. A little bit left. Yeah. A little splash in here. Those two are great beers to split. The Four Hands Stout, I could house that one.
What do we think? I mean, this is 6.5%. It's not.
I just shot that last little bit there.
It's not terribly.
It's
not high in alcohol.
No, fantastic. The highest thing was the stout from Four Hands, which again, that's one that I could probably drink on my own. I could probably do the Sketchbook Smokey Jack, Smokey Pump. That's Smokey Jack, something like that. Smokey Pump.
Okay.
Yeah, these three particular beers in the cider. A really nice, interesting approach. It's refreshing to. Oh, you are doing the cuvee. Oh, nice. It's a nice change up of what we normally do for like pumpkin beers. So you've mixed the cider and the pumpkin. Oh my god, the pumpkin cobbler. How did that turn out?
Fire, dude. Fire.
We don't normally drink from each other's glasses. Dude, and the aroma, like, I get both.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's so fucking good.
So, like, the Berliner Weiss is already, like, that tartness, but now, other than, like, the pumpkin, pastry, I get, like, a nice, like, oh, Jesus Christ. Do a half and half with that.
That's tasty, man.
You could probably go more of the caramel apple because the Bistro, the Energy City is a little thicker and heavier, but holy moly. Dude, this is probably one of the most fun pumpkin beer Halloween episodes we've ever done. Like, again, roll the dice, just grabbing some random shit that I thought might be good, and it turned out fantastic.
You did well, my friend. You did well.
Thanks, man. And happy Halloween to you.
And same to you, my friend.
It's next week, but happy Halloween to you. Well, next week when this is coming out. We're still watching the Bears game. And by the way, third quarter just started. They're still winning. We hope they don't blow it.
Halloween's actually like several weeks away.
Well, while we're doing this, but as the episode comes out,
yes.
It's next week.
Indeed.
Oh, so real quick, if you had to rate the four, how you rating them?
Energy City.
Number one?
Yep.
Okay.
The cider.
2.
The stout, and then Sketchbook.
100%. Also, with that being said, that's just tonight.
Yeah.
Me personally, the metallic thing was tough for the Sketchbook, but that Sketchbook beer is really good.
Yeah.
And the stout is really good. It just happened to be that the cider and the fucking pastry pumpkin cobbler was...
Yeah, and like I have not a hard time, but it's... I get there's some people that might say, oh, you can't compare a cider with a beer. And I'm like, it's all booze, my friends. Yeah. It's all in the same family. But...
The thing was, it was pumpkin and Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
And we're comparing it to what we were drinking tonight. Again, if it was another night with some other pumpkin beers, Sketchbook could have been number one.
Yeah.
It was good. Like, everything tonight got pretty decent ratings. So.
I mean, you literally pulled like a roulette of beers.
Absolutely.
And it worked out fantastic.
I hope it works out again another time.
Yeah.
I will say this, I am going to probably grab another one of those ciders, but I will grab a 4-pack of that pumpkin cobbler from Energy City for you and I. So everybody, happy Halloween. Thank you for listening, liking, subscribing, doing all that good stuff. Please send us some emails, comment on things. We love to hear from you. And we take your recommendations seriously, even if we haven't done them yet. We constantly have it in the back of our minds. We're just trying to find the time to do it. So we appreciate it. Brandon, happy Halloween, and I love you.
Happy Halloween. Love you too, bud.
We'll see you guys next week.
Why don't more infant formula companies use organic, grass-fed whole milk instead of skim? Why don't more infant formula companies use the latest breast milk science? Why don't more infant formula companies run their own clinical trials? Why don't more infant formula companies use more of the proteins found in breast milk? Why don't more infant formula companies have their own factories instead of outsourcing their manufacturing? We wondered the same thing. So we made ByHeart, an infant formula company on a mission to get a lot closer to the most superfood on the planet, breast milk. Our patented protein blend has more of the important and most abundant proteins actually found in breast milk. We're the first and only US-made formula to use organic, grass-fed whole milk, not skim. We even conducted the largest clinical trial by a new infant formula company in a quarter-century, with clinically proven benefits like easier digestion, less spit up, and softer poops versus a leading infant formula. And we make our own formula in the USA and our very own factories in Iowa, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. ByHeart, A better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.
Cheers.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Asa Phelps Chicago, on Twitter, The Asa Phelps Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.